Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to our turret, which is no longer a turret. In today's episode, we are going to be turning it into a mobile base, and more importantly, into the ultimate tool of mass deforestation. We are going to have it so that it sells all of the resources it gets, and of course, refines them as well, other than pure wood. The wood will be used in a mobile furnace generator in the core of the robot. This way we can continue our work being rather nomadic and still very, very aggressive. Because honestly, the base building aspect of this game keeps on putting me off, and building little things like this seems to be popular with people watching, so thank you very much for all of those comments telling me so, but also is very, very fun for me to do, and it's something a little bit out of the ordinary. One day we could be complete nomads, so let's get to work at least putting down some foundations. So right now, we already have a very aggressive robot style thing built. What we need to do is add some tracks on the bottom and then set up the base section somewhere at the back. I am a little bit worried that this may end up becoming a truck, or may end up becoming very, very front heavy. But either way, it should be something very, very fun to build. So I'll be right back as soon as I've added the Hawkeye tank tracks all along the sides so that we can become mobile. I may also add some of the VentureCo stabilizers. The Venture stabilizers are very, very good as well. It's just Venture, not Venture Co. So now we can move freely. Let's get to working on making this a completely self-sustainable ultimate destruction machine. So what we're really going to need then, the main things, is we are going to need the mobile refinery, the mobile delivery cannons, and then something I haven't used before, which is the mobile black hole, the mobile SCU generator? Now, let's see how wrong I was about that. In fact, I'm almost certain I was wrong. It's the SCU, I was correct! I am truly a person with a memory. There we go. The Venture Mobile SCU storage. This means we could have everything on a single vehicle. We can collect resources, we can refine them, we can turn some of those resources into power, since our lovely solar generators are no longer working, since we are a vehicle, not a building, and then we can even go ahead and place down things like the mobile SCU, so that we can collect items from it. The only thing we can't do is scrap parts. That's the only thing we will ever need a base for, as a huge scrapyard. And since we're collecting stuff on the fly, we can even clean up the place. We're recycling, destroying, and ruining the planet all in one glorious moment. Go away, trees. So first things first, where are we going to collect the resources from on this craft? I think what we could do is either have a resource collection point in the middle, so we grab everything from the center and then we can simply use conveyors to move them around to the back of the robot, or we could have them along the sides, so we drive through and everything along the sides of the vehicle is then collected. Both seem completely reasonable to me, although perhaps what we could do is just have both. Why not both, simply? So let's go ahead and put one of these here, and then a couple of those here and here. We can convert these to conveyor belts, which will go around, and then on the side, since we already have this little piece here cut in, we could just go like that. Right now, just using the GSO version, because it's nice and clean and easy to see what we're doing. Though, actually, I do have the problem here of I don't think this will actually work because that needs to be on the same level. So we can still do this, but instead what we're going to need to do, if I can move this light so I can actually continue with what I'm doing, go away and go away, do it like this, then have these on top. That looks really neat, actually, having them along here. It kind of reminds me of gills for some reason. Don't ask me why, because it really shouldn't, but for some reason I'm thinking of, like, fish gills coming along the side. And it even gives us the power to breathe underwater. At least this part's nice and easy. So there we are, we have the wooden blocks being filtered over this way, because these are going to be taken to the mobile furnaces. Now what we're going to need to do is make all of this chunk at the top be extended backwards a little bit in order to provide some protection for our manufacturing section, and to make it so the front isn't really big in comparison to the rest. It's still going to be big, but we could make it a little bit smaller at least. So then, let's go over to power, and we go over to the mobile furnace generators. Now, can these be placed like that? Perfect, that's what I wanted to see. Although, what we could do is perhaps just put the furnace generators here anyway, without using the filter section, and then these will just be grabbed from the conveyor line. Some wood will get through, but only if these are already in use. Yeah, maybe that'll be a better idea, just having 3 on each side, so like that. Then one there, one there, one there, one there. That will probably work better. And here you go, you can have a bit of food while you wait. There it is, smoking away, providing a very small amount of power to our robot. There we are, we now have 6 of the mobile furnace generators, and honestly, I massively underestimated the amount of power these things can actually produce, and so I do think we've went a little bit overboard with 6 of them, but I do also think that that little section looks really cool. So the next step is to add the Venture mobile refineries. This way we're getting more money per section, although it does massively increase the complexity of the vehicle. So what I would like is to have the delivery cannons in the middle. I don't know why, but I just feel like that's the correct route to take. So the delivery cannons, we either have the GSO version, I've put one down over here, or we have the Venture version. Now they are, I think, the same speed, although the Venture ones do definitely look a little bit prettier. So let's go ahead and purchase one so we can just see them back to back, and then we can decide which one we're going to go with. There we are, the mobile delivery cannon. Now here's the thing, the Venture mobile is only grade 2. The GSO is grade 5. I'm not quite sure if that really makes a difference, because of course that just means the level required to craft or purchase them. But either way, the Venture definitely looks better. But is this one faster? So to do a quick test, what we're going to do is add a couple of conveyors like so to both of these. One receiver on each, and then we're going to give it a few resources to see if either of them are particularly quicker. So there we are, 2 for you, and then we'll put 2 for you a second later. Pop, 1, 2. Okay, let's do that again. I actually didn't expect it to be so close. Let's do that again, but this time let's be a bit faster with giving them both the same amount of resource. Also, how expensive are they to purchase? Let's have a quick look-see. I would like this to be quick, because of course these are slower than the standard stationary versions. So if we go over to this, here we are, the delivery cannon is 2,694. The Venture version is a little bit cheaper. Okay, that's interesting. There we go, and let's just look at them and see how long it takes. They are around about the same time by the looks of things. Okay, in that case, I will go with the Venture because I do believe the Venture is prettier. Or, we could have 2 Ventures and then... That actually kind of weirded me out for a second. We could have 2 Ventures and then a GSO in the middle. I think that seems like the best way of doing things. Okay, so let's grab another Venture mobile cannon. Allow it to go into the black hole like everything else. And then we will build this up. Still don't know how we're going to do the mobile refineries though. Simplicity versus efficiency per block. Venture, delivery cannon, and let's put both of these back here like so. And then we can add the regular GSO version, which is... Where are you? There we are, excellent. Well, almost excellent. Let's put it the right way. There we are. So that's our little salesman section. So to go here then, we kind of want both of these conveyors to go into one. So what I will most likely do then... what we could do is have both of these outside ones as for refined resources, and then the center for unrefined stuff, or at least stuff which doesn't go through the refinery, so stuff which has already been refined when we pick it up. Although, that shouldn't actually happen, so ignore that. I was thinking of the scrappers, but of course, once again, we can't use the scrappers on this vehicle. So, mobile refinery. The easiest way then would be to pick them up like this. And since, once again, we're always going to be only getting unrefined stuff, it should be pretty easy to set this up. You go there, and then both of you go together. Of course, the problem here is that we have this one in the middle, which kind of wants to grab stuff, but won't have the space to do so. Now, we could combine the two conveyors into one, then have that split into this, but then that slows down the processing. Questions and thoughts. I really wish you could mirror these refineries. I do sort of hate the fact that you're always going to have the opposite of the one you have over here. So the output is on the top, though over here the output is on the bottom, the input is in the bottom over here, and yet over here it's on the top. It makes doing nice and symmetrical stuff a little bit irritating. Okay, this looks decent. So the items go in here to the refinery, in which then they are taken round this lovely little carousel, in which eventually they will be picked up by one of the delivery cannons. Of course, the problem here is if these on the left are currently exporting their refined stuff, and the same is happening on the right, there could be a bit of a build-up around this section here, on the right-hand side of the circle, but it kind of looks like LOL. And honestly, that overrides everything else. There are definitely better ways of doing this, but LOL. So let's go ahead and grab as much stuff as we can just from the floor, and let's see if it works. It should do, really. Okay, there it goes into the delivery cannon, and we get some money. And we can keep on doing this over and over again for all eternity. The only problem is, if we do pick up some refined resource, it will have nowhere to go, and will then get stuck on the end. So what we could do is add a couple of cannons to finish this off on both of the L's. Okay, I won't laugh. Nope, not laughing at that at all. It's not funny, it's just lol, it's stupid and really childish. Now, the reason why I am going to extend the back, even though I keep saying I don't want to, is because we do need to add the mobile SCU, which I think I got correct again. Go me! High fives, everyone! I got a name correct. But either way, we do need that somewhere, and that's going to go underneath the O, so we may as well extend the two sides as well. The main problem with this is it will slow down our turning, which currently is surprisingly good. So it's going to be sad to see that go away, but I do need it to be somewhere which will be easy to protect. And the back at the moment has absolutely no protection, but I do want it to be somewhat capped off, like the front. So the back and the front will likely be the most defended, the sides will be the weakest. But bear in mind, I haven't added the shields yet. So easily, my plans are undone. It turns out that the mobile SCU is only 2 wide rather than 3 wide, which is incredibly annoying, considering I thought it was going to go underneath the O. Now, of course, this was my fault entirely, I should have checked, but for some reason I assumed it would be the same as the standard stationary version. But of course, that would make no sense, since the mobile version can't even be placed in an anchored position. It can be placed on a stationary building, like, for instance, if I went over here to the regular SCU, you can see it works absolutely fine, but it can't be the source of a building, of an anchored tech, I should say. I really need to stop using the term building, because that's not always entirely accurate. A stationary tech. In terms of the manufacturing blocks, we are now almost done. So there we are, we have 2 of the mobile SCUs, we now have 6 of the delivery cannons on the center loop, we have 4 of the, what they called, the mobile refineries, and we have 6 of the mobile furnace generators. I think that will be enough, and since we've added them in this shape, we're still okay for turning speed, so this is a surprisingly agile tech, considering how much stuff is currently on the back of it. Although, as we now start to add armor, I've got a horrible feeling it's going to go more and more into the realms of being rather sluggish. But for now, we can pretend it's all well and good and completely agile. So let's just add a little bit of armor around the side, and then armor up the center, and we can take it out for a bit of a test run. I still want to make a flying base in the future, but this will likely be the more reliable version. This one will stand the test of time, being able to kill enemies from afar, and being able to collect both tech parts and resource parts which drop. Although I am likely to want a few additional segments to pick up resources, because right now we can't really hold much if it's waiting for the refineries. But I'm still pretty happy with it. Also kind of looks like a ship at this stage. Shields are online, and we are good to go for our first test run. As you can see, everything is working perfectly. We are grabbing the wood from the side. The wood is either being burnt to increase our power, or it's being used in the several refineries to increase its worth, and then it's being sold. And actually, it's doing it very, very quickly, making it quite a decent resource processor. The only problem so far is that right now, we don't really have enough of these what they call the grabbers, the collectors, the receivers, to grab quite enough off the ground. So I will need to increase these to the larger version, even though I don't really want to, honestly. And apparently we've just finished a quest, and we are collecting all of these resources here perfectly, and now we can test out the back section, which is of course how we grab bits from the destroyed techs. Even though we did just do that a second ago, let's do it again, and these seem to be working fine as well. The all-in-one battle resource harvester seems to be working absolutely fine, and now we can go on our way as true nomads. I also do need to increase the armor on the back and to make the front a bit more shaped. That way we will look significantly better, and we will also have armor in all the right places. At the moment, it's not quite there. I've also had to sacrifice a bit of turning because of the back section, so that is definitely something we could work on in the not-so-distant future. I will also say that the mobile version of the SCU is a little bit slow to pick up items. Oh, hello! That's not really what I want to do, honestly. We're not as powerful as our tank, or actually anywhere near as powerful as our tank, and we don't have enough battery power either, so let's just see what spawns. If it's a smaller enemy, we will kill it, and we will harvest it. Well, that's pretty big. Missiles! There we go, some lovely area of effect. Wait, are all of those repair bubbles? Are none of those regular bubbles? Well, in that case, we could just bleed it out. It also seems like that tech can't move. So if we just stay here, we could just very cowardly attack it from a distance, and it will run out of power just repairing, because repairing takes a lot of power. The top two guns there trying their darndest to help out. The railguns going nowhere near the target. Okay, let's see what weapons it has. Hello. Does it have any weapons? Oh. Base 423543. Well, it's a very cool base, I'll admit that much. It's kind of like somewhere you could park your tech. But since it can't fight back, oh, it does have shields, okay. Well, in that case, we'll just slowly wear at them for a while. We don't really have the most damage per second. We have a lot of burst damage because of the rails and the missiles, but yeah, this may actually take a while. Where are the batteries? Oh, it doesn't need that many batteries because it has all of these solar things on the top. It just bounced us away, the cad. There we go. Finally drained it almost dry, so at least some of the shots are getting through. Oh, wow, that really went. Well, goodbye. And now for the ultimate test of the mobile SCUs, I suppose. I do love how they only activate when they're in the presence of blocks, then they go back to being inactive. Yep, seems to be working just fine, although there is one piece apparently stuck in this one. Although I have seen that happen before to the regular SCU as well, so I don't think that's just the mobile version being a bugger. Another thing we clearly need to upgrade is the amount of damage on the bottom of the tech. I simply can't harvest rocks, which is quite a big oversight, honestly. We're great versus trees, we can clearly destroy huge forests fairly quickly, but rocks are apparently our weakness. In a game of rock, paper, scissors, we are always scissors. Goodbye, paper. Well, for now, I am actually really happy with how this has turned out. We have a lot of firepower, we have a decent amount of mobility, and most importantly, we get a lot of power for each tree destroyed. We are turning nature into glorious, glorious pollution-creating energy, and I am remarkably happy with it. The world itself will be destroyed by our harvester. So with that, if you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you would like to see continued in the future. In the next episode, we are going to make some improvements so that we can deal with all obstacles in our way, and hopefully I will learn the patience needed to use these Venture mobile SCUs a little bit better. I keep on moving away from things long before they are actually inside of the black hole, because it takes so much longer than the regular SCU. I've conditioned myself for the amount of time it normally takes, and now it's different. I'm completely lost. Also, if you would like to name this robot, since it still doesn't have a name, then please comment below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.